Hello everybody, welcome to a vintage cube draft. We're in a feeder league for the big tournament in Vegas. So if you're not familiar with that, there's a couple different qualifiers, 3 rounds, and if you make it through them all, you get to play a live in-person vintage cube draft in Las Vegas, which would be awesome. You get to keep the cards too if you win. Unfortunately though, we have a really bad pack to start. Yeah, nothing really powerful at all, no good fixing. I think I'm actually going to take this Talisman. It's not an exciting first pick by any means, but none of these cards are strong enough to commit to a certain color or direction. Talisman is just a flexible card. I think it is the right pick, although that's really not what you want to be leading with. This pack is much better. The most powerful card is probably Demonic Tutor, and we could just take that. I do like Miscalculation a lot. We're sort of slightly pushed towards blue-red with the Talisman. I would take Fury here if that was there, but Pyrokinesis is quite a bit worse. It's an instant, but still, just not as strong. Yeah, I think Demonic Tutor is probably where we want to be here. It's at its best in combo decks, so we could be combo. I mean, Grixis Reanimator is certainly a deck. Could be like some sort of sneak attack deck. Maybe we'll see if the Shallow Grave comes around. But yeah, I think I will take the Tutor here. It's early enough that yeah, I mean, we have nothing pulling us towards black now, but just based on power level, I'll take that. And now we can take a Bloodstained Mire. Baleful Strix would be really nice as well, but I do think Bloodstained Mire is the correct pick based on this start. Okay, might just take a Xander's Lounge here, just solidify really good Grixis mana fixing. There's also Restless Vents, but I do think Xander's Lounge is quite a bit better for this build. There's Third Path Iconoclast, which is okay. Mystic Confluence is strong, but it is expensive. Taking a 5-drop is, the bar for a 5-drop is really high. And granted, this is there's a real chance this is the best 5-mana play in the format now. Is that true? I mean, the fact it's instant speed, interactive, good when you're behind on board, good when you're ahead, being able to beat just a triple removal spell is really relevant sometimes, but I'm still going to take the Xander's Lounge here. And so, very flexible start. I love that. As you know, if you watch this format, I really value flexibility and staying open early on. We're well set up to move into, to move in a lot of different directions. We could just be some sort of Grixis controlling deck. Demonic Tutor's not the best in that build, but still not the worst. If we're going in that direction, we want some cheap interaction, of course, so some one-mana removal spells, some counter magic, and then a board sweeper. If we want to go in a more combo-y direction, of course, there's a lot of different ones we could get, but seeing a 5th pick sneak attack would be maybe the best in our Demonic Tutor deck. Interesting pick here. I want to take Dragon's Rage Channeler because I love this card, especially in Grixis decks, but I think the right pick is the Flooded Strand. This is already a tri-land, and then it will also help us if we end up splashing for 4th Aer Lingus or Minsk and Boo or something else. Yeah, as much as I do love the Channeler, I think this is the right pick. There's a chance Channeler comes around, not super likely, but a fetch land is just so good. It already makes 3 colors, or I guess it already makes 4 colors, and it will only get better from here. Ooh, this is interesting. So we could take Jace and try to be a Doomsday deck. I think Doomsday is really strong. We're in the right colors for it. We have good fixing. This does not help us cast the card Doomsday, which is a little bit rough, but still, I think that is the right pick. Shelduck Isle is great as well. Very powerful card. Delayed Blast Fireball is a nice board sweeper. Arena of Glory is good specifically with the escape cards. So if we were to pick up Kroxa, this is really good with that. But I do think with Demonic Tutor, we're sort of all set up to pivot to Doomsday. Seeing this go kind of late is a good sign. Yeah, we'll take that speculatively. Might not end up getting there on the actual combo, but we also could. Now we see a late Hallowed Fountain, which we cannot find with Bloodstained Mire, but that could be good. We are seeing some white stuff go around. The other option is just taking Thought Scour, which I actually think is probably the correct pick. I mean, certainly if we're trying to play Doomsday and Jace, then turning to our deck is good. Yeah, I think I will take this, although Hallowed Fountain is close. There's not that many white cards I'm that interested in splashing for Doomsday deck specifically. White is typically more of a mid-range and controlling card, or aggressive, but just not combo. So yeah, I think I will take the Thought Scour here. Now we see even more white fixing versus Chandra versus Baleful Mastery. I think I'm going to take the Mastery here. We have no removal, so getting a little bit is good. Looks like we're going to be base blue-black. Might not even play red. I mean, we could just play these as, this is a blue-black dual land, but yeah, I think this is the right pick. Chandra is powerful. Maybe it's good, actually. No. Certainly if we're going to be Doomsday, having triple blue, triple black, and double red in the same deck is tough, even though we do have good fixing. Yeah, I think Mastery is just a good pickup. We need some removal. Okay, I think it's Deathrite Shaman here. I'm not going to take Dark Depths. I think that's just pretty much an underpowered combo. Magda's solid, but Deathrite is pretty nice, especially we have multiple fetch lands already. It's better, of course, if you can make green mana and use all of the abilities of this. But the best ability is ramping. And then we also could certainly get green fixing still. Okay. Probably just Meticulous Archive. I mean, there is Pyrokinesis, but the white fixing is really hitting us in our face. I think I'll take it, and we'll see. Maybe we don't end up using it, but we could even play this. If we don't have many tap lands, I might just play this for the card selection with Flooded Strand. But yeah, let's take the Meticulous Archive here. Not too interested in the rest of these cards. Like, could take Ghost Fire Slice, but we have no other red cards at the moment. So there's nothing really here that I'm too interested in. I think I'll take a Golos, but probably not play it. Alright, I'll take a Metamorphose now. Not seeing the super late cards in our colors, which is not a great sign, although I do think Metamorphose is pretty good if we are going to be a Jace deck. Jeez. Okay, so green is the most open color, I think. Do we want to try to pivot to green? I don't love the plan of doing that, especially because I do like this core and we have really good fixing. I guess I'll take this, but I'm hoping not to play any of the stuff, but yeah. Alright, Temple Garden, I'll take that. So, I think we're probably not going to be on Doomsday now. It just doesn't seem like blue-black is open enough for that. So we might end up pivoting weirdly towards Golos. So we do have 5 colors now. Just Sanders Lounge and Temple Garden gives us 5 colors. Alright, pack 2. And we see a Minskin Boo. So I think I'm just going to take that. That is a pretty phenomenal pickup. We're just going to be, I think, 5 color at this point. Kind of weird, not what I was expecting. We got a Last Big Paradise Druid, which we might just play if we end up moving more towards green. But yeah, I'll take the Minskin Boo. Really, really broken card, of course. Even better if we can ramp into it with Paradise Druid and or Talisman. Wow, this is a pack. There's a lot of pieces of fixing that would be great. Through the Breach, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and Ancestral Recall, which we will be taking. Ancestral Recall is, of course, amazing. It's actually really good, specifically with Doomsday, too. With Doomsday and Thought we can win the same turn with Doomsday very easily. Well, I guess actually we don't have Black Lotus, but yeah, I'm going to take this for sure. Really sadly passing Fable, but because there's so many good red cards, we might be able to wheel Volcanic Island or Braid. But yeah, definitely taking Ancestral. We'll see. I mean, I guess I do want to be able to play green for the Minskin Boo, but I don't hate the idea of well, I guess the White Splash is looking like it might be kind of free. We still don't have any white cards, though. Yeah, there's still a lot of different directions we could go. Interesting. So, a few options. There's Inquisition just for cheap interaction. We really need to decide our colors, because if we're fully playing all these, like there's Flage and Uro, both of which would be good. I mean, they would be really good, like a Thought Scour to fill up the graveyard. With Jace, maybe Uro is a bit better. There's also the Talisman, but I think I like just taking Uro. Maybe we just take Inquisition now and try to wheel one of these two. Funny that like the blue-green card, the red-white, and the black card are all considerations here. I do really think Uro would be powerful, though, and green does seem pretty open. Uro is at its best, too, in decks like this where we have Jace. Like, just churning through our deck, gaining resources, gaining lands is just going to lead to a win with this card. Yeah, I'm going to take the Uro. Very close pick, though. We do need some fixing if we're going to try to make this, like, all these colors work. Now we see some fixing. We see Grist. Those are the main considerations. I think I'm just going to take Zytor's Proving Ground. Yeah, if we're going to be all these colors, we need some fixing, of course. Now I see Ketchery Triome, which I think I'm going to take as well. The other option would be Firebolt, which would be really nice. I do want some cheap removal. But it's looking like we're kind of base Sultai at this point. You know what? Actually, we do really need some cheap removal. As good as Ketchery Triome would be, I think we need to take this. Like, we have very few ways to kill creatures right now, and that's not really acceptable. Now I see Bayou, Scrubland, and Unholy Heat. We just took a removal spell, though, so I think we can afford to take the Bayou. Yeah, I'll take that. Now there's Leovold. That is interesting. We're not a channel deck. Yeah, I'll take a Leovold. Nice pickup. Commercial District now. There's a late Mother of Runes. You don't normally see this card going so late, and it is really strong, but not really for this deck. Commercial District helps a lot. So how many tapped lands are we playing right now? If we play this Meticulous Archive, which is a maybe, that's 4 tapped lands. That is kind of a lot. Ooh, Tamio looks pretty nice here. There is Sentinel of the Nameless. There's also Natural Order. We could have gone in the Atraxa direction. Tribal Flames would be okay as well, but I think Tameo looks really nice with Uro and with Jace. Yeah, I'll take that. Now we see a couple pieces of green fixing versus a braid. I don't think I don't care that much about white. There's a white splash. Like, I think I'm just gonna not play white in my tentative plan. I mean, I guess if we play Golos, we do want some white lands, but we just have no white spells, and we have good fixing, but not so good that it's like free to play all this stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna take the braid, and just plan on not playing white most likely. Probably just not playing any of these. Yeah, this seems solid. So we're like, just 4 color, I guess. There's not even 1 color that's a tiny splash. But now we have access to like a decent removal suite, lots of really powerful card advantage engines, some pretty good fixing. There's like Ancestral Recall for brokenness. Demonic Tutor will be searching Ancestral sometimes, Uro sometimes, Minsc and Boost sometimes. Would be nice to find a board sweeper for sure. Toxic Deluge would be a really high pickup. Wow, super interesting. So I think I'm actually taking Flage here. White's back on the menu. I don't hate having 2 of these cards. If you draw them both early and you don't draw any of your card, like, you know, Thought Scour type cards, it's kind of bad. But if we have the fixing for it, which we might, then having access, like a little bit of redundancy for that sort of effect is great. Now I can take a Grist. I think that's the right pick over Waterlogged Grove. Grist is really strong. Lots of gold stuff here. So we'll see about the Jace. Now that we have, I mean, I guess it is really good with Flage and Uro, though. Could be tough on the mana. Like triple blue, it's looking like blue is actually going to be a little bit less a big part of our deck. I will take the Witherbloom command here. Nice pickup, especially for the Flage Uro thing. So if we aren't in on Doomsday / milling ourselves, I think we're just in on like filling up our graveyard and then winning with Flage and Uro. We will need some more fixing to make that work though, for sure. I think Golos is back on the menu actually. I don't think this is very good. Cathar Commanders maybe. I'm not like committed to playing it in the main deck, but it could get there. Really, really want some more fetch lands. We got 2 very early. We didn't get a single one in pack 2, so that's probably the #1 priority in pack 3 outside of just like broken stuff. This is a nice sideboard card. I probably won't play it in the main deck for curve purposes, but in the more grindy matchups, it's just a draw 4 with upside almost. So, fetch lands, board sweeper, and then maybe would be Doomsday and Thassa's Oracle. Probably going to take one of these 2. There's also Territorial Kavu, which I'll look for on the wheel. But I think I'm going to start with one of these. Then the question becomes which one. So, Oliphant can get Grixis plus green. So, Oliphant gets everything except white. And Generous Ent can get Jund plus white, so everything except red. I think what's gonna, so it's close. I think I'm gonna go with the Oliphant for 2 reasons. First of all, I think it is just a little bit more in our key colors, but then secondly, there's a lot of good green stuff in this pack. I think it's more likely to see Ent come around. I guess it's not that likely either way, but I do think Oliphant is the right pick here. And then maybe we'll like say Triumph or Undercity Sewers. Shieldred, very good for power level. Vampiric Tutor good as well, but there's also a couple lands. I think I'm actually leaning towards just taking one of the lands here. Like Shieldred's great, but it doesn't particularly combo with what we have. And double black could be a bit tough in our Flage Uro deck. Then the question becomes which land to get. I think the answer is Underground Sea. Taiga, we already have a commercial district. With that being said, there is a lot of good black stuff in this pack. Maybe there's good green too. It's really close. I think I'm going to take the Underground Sea. Although it is worth noting, Taiga helps to cast both of these 2 escape cards, but I'm still going to take the Underground Sea. Maybe I just have a little bit of a bias towards blue. Ooh, okay, so there's Doomsday. Huh, there's Doomsday. Malevolent Rumble would be sneakily amazing in this deck. There's also Teferi. I think Doomsday is likely to come around, so I'm actually going to take the Teferi and then try to wheel Doomsday. Which I might not even play. It's tough on the mana, and just like, I think our mid-range plan, like our card quality is really high, so our mid-range plan might just be better. But yeah, I think I will take the Teferi here. Now I'll take a Prismatic Vista. We could go for the 3rd escape card, which is kind of hilarious. There's also even like Primeval Titan, but yeah, let's take the Prismatic Vista. Good pickup. I'm not going to be playing a ton of basics, but I'll probably play like at least 3. This deck is spicy. I'm pretty into it, though. Fractured Identity versus Lorien Revealed. There's also Once Upon a Time. Close pick. I think I'm actually going to take the Fractured Identity, though. Lorien Revealed would be nice fixing. But our fixing is starting to get there. Like, counting this as kind of a land, we already have 11, and we should be able to get 1 or 2 more. This is a really good card. Also, we just don't have access to that much good removal. Yeah, this fits with what we're trying to do pretty well. I think I might be off of the Jace plan. Just triple blue is going to be too tough, but I'm still definitely playing Thought Scour to fill out the graveyard. Just 5-color mid-range. This deck honestly looks sick. I love decks that have lots of gold cards, and this deck certainly has that. Wow, okay, so there is Time Twister. We have we have a Leovold. We passed the Shieldred. If I had Shieldred, I would definitely take this. We still might take it. Although, Snapcaster looks pretty nice. It's very good with Ancestral Recall, of course. I guess it's not as good with a lot of the other stuff. Eagles of the North would be the other option. Although, our White Splash is a little dicey. Flage might be tough. Like, right now we only have 2 fetchable white lands. Then Eagles of the North would help with that, though. I think I'm going to take the Snapcaster. Snap Ancestral is the main reason, but also just like Snap Witherbloom Command, Snap Braid. It does seem like a pretty good card here. Wow. Okay, so we could have gone in the draw 7 direction, which if I'd known we'd get all this stuff, I kind of wish I had. But we could take Field of the Dead. It's a little bit awkward with all of our colored mana pips. Like, it doesn't cast Flage, doesn't cast Uro, doesn't cast Witherbloom Command, or any of these things. But I think I'm still going to take it. I'm not going to play it in the main deck necessarily, but it's a really good sideboard card at the very least. Now I think I'm just going to take a Horizon Canopy. Just a little bit more fixing. A lot of okay spells here, but nothing that's super exciting. Territorial Kavu Wield. Nice. I will take that. There is also Urborg, which helps for casting Doomsday, but I don't even know if we're going to be on that plan. Now I see Taiga. That's nice. I think this was the Doomsday pack, and we don't see it on the wheel. Do we want to take Avacyn's Pilgrim? We're not a Cradle deck. I don't think we're a Shinobi deck. Could take Bloodbraid Challenger. I think I'm going to err on the side of the cheaper card and take this. Or we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're going to have enough green. Just having another 1-drop I think will help a lot. Now I'll take Exploration. Maybe not going to play it in the main deck, but it's good in certain matchups at least. So, could we afford to play 16 lands in this deck, or do we need to play 17? We do have Oliphant, and we actually have a fairly low curve. It also is tempting to try to put Jace back in. It would be tough on the mana, but we're just going to be turning through our deck so quickly with like Tameo and all this stuff. Spellseeker can find Ancestral Recall. I think I'm actually going to take Spellseeker. I might not play it in the main deck, but it's a nice card to have access to. I'll take this. I'm not playing either of these, I think. The double green card is just too tough to cast. Alright, so do we want to try to play Field of the Dead here? It just is a bad land for our deck. Yeah, and it's just so slow. I'll bring it in certain matchups. It'll really help against control, but I don't think we're going to play it in the main deck. So, do we play 16 lands? Oh man, this is going to be complicated. I'm not even going to try to sort by that way, actually. So, it is pretty even, honestly. White's the smallest splash for sure, but we do have Flage. This gives us, for white, 1, 2, 3, 4. The white's small. Maybe we do cut the Flage, actually. This is a direction we could go. For blue, I guess, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, this is going to be tough to play, too. 7 is fine if we're not playing Jace. For black, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's totally fine. For green, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's great. For red, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so our fixing is pretty good here. Then the question is, what do we play? Do we want to play a 17th land, or do we want to play... Yeah, maybe we just play Field of the Dead as the 17th land, which is nice with Golos. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run it like this. It's close. There's Exploration, there's Spellseeker. Maybe Spellseeker's good. I think I'm gonna run it like this. 5-color Field of the Dead Madness. This deck is wild. We have some interesting sideboard options. I'll bring in, like, in the slow matchups, we can bring in Jace and Showdown of the Scalds and maybe even Flage. Against aggro, we can bring in Flage. Our removal, we don't have a board sweeper, so for removal, we're banking on Firebolt, Abrade, Grist, Baleful Mastery, Fractured Identity. That's a little bit light. So I do think Hyper Aggro will probably be our worst matchup, but this deck is really spicy, a lot of powerful gold cards, and I am very excited. See you in round 1. Alright, we're on the play for round 1 against Captain Scoop, funny name, and good hand. No blue or white mana, but Paradise Druid can help. So lead on Commercial District looking for a blue source. I really like Paradise Druid in this deck. 5-color fixing, cheap play, it just accelerates us, kind of does everything we want. Playing against a fan, that's fun. Captain Scoop also likes the 7-card hand. Alright, Commercial District, what do we got? Zayator's Proving Ground. I don't think that's a card we're interested in here. We could keep it with the plan of cycling it later, but this lets us cycle it for 0 mana instead of 3. Breeding Pool, alright. Happy to see no 1-drop since we don't have a removal spell. Demonic Tutor, interesting draw. Definitely going to lead on Paradise Druid though. And pass turn. Tutor, I might just tutor, I guess Ancestral Recall is probably the right pick because that can help us to find more fixing. Ooh, don't love that. Alright, Springheart and N2 is going to make a lot of dudes. I think I am just going to grab the Ancestral here. Okay, do we want to play Deathrite Shaman or Meticulous Archive? It's kind of close. I think Deathrite is the right pick, though. Among other things, it can block. It also can potentially ramp us. Like, we do have a land, so we can make blue-white next turn if we want to. I would prefer not to be exiling my own graveyard with Deathrite, though, because we do have, of course, this Uro in hand. But yeah, lots of good options next turn. We can go Snap Ancestral. We can Thought Scour ourselves to fill the graveyard for Uro. I do want to try to get this Uro into play quickly if possible. Shifting Woodland. They're pretty far away from having Delirium, so I'm not too worried about that. Questing Beast. Alright. So we take 4. We can Baleful Mastery that, but there's just so many things I want to do with my mana here. I think I am going to lead on Uro, just like getting extra lands into play seems really helpful. So, could just play Baleful Mastery for full mana on this. Could also snap Demonic Tutor, looking for Fractured Identity. I think I'm just going to take this out. It's kind of close, but that seems like the safest line. Like, we have tons of value. I just don't want to, like, die to something random. And we still have Snapcaster to flashback Baleful Mastery if we need to do that. Our mana is awkward here. We just have, like, mono Jund mana. Finding some blue lands would be helpful. I know I have this Meticulous Archive in hand that I'm not playing. Yeah, don't really care about these 1/1s. They'll be good chump blockers, I guess, for the Uro down the road, but we can just go over the top of that. We don't really have a good way to kill it, though. I guess without the Jace in our deck, getting milled is somewhat of a concern. Okay, very happy to see that. Among other things, it means we can exile their... That's, like, good thing for our Deathrite Shaman. Okay, that's a pretty nice one. Do we have an untapped? Yeah, we can get Underground Sea here. Although we would still be 1 mana short of doing everything we want. I think I might actually just snap Ancestral. Wow, a lot of action there. So we could gem Minsk and Boo, we could take a turn off to Witherbloom Command to kill their Mox Ruby and their Springheart and Tuco. I think that actually seems correct. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Like, this is great, of course, but I think just stunting their development is pretty valuable. So, destroy target thing, target creature gets -3/1. Then we'll pass with a plan of using Deathrite Shaman to eat their Springheart and Tuco end of turn, gain some life. And then next turn we can Golos for Field of the Dead. Okay, yeah, this is going well. I'm feeling pretty good. Opponent has 3 lands. We don't have a bunch of good removal against them. Oh, okay, they just concede. So, how do we want to change, if at all? I don't think I'm going to play the Jace. This is more like against decks that have tons of ways to kill our stuff. Flage is kind of interesting. Is there anything that we don't want, I guess, is the first question. No, everything seems solid. It's not the best matchup for Teferi. It's not that good against any of the threats that we've seen, but it's just such a good card that I do think I want to keep it. Yeah, I'm just going to run it back. Okay, good hand. No white mana, but white's our smallest color. We have multiple removal spells, cheap play. We don't have a fetch land, so Deathrite Shaman doesn't make mana yet, but we can maybe cycle these to set that up later. I think I'm just going to lead on Taiga here. Taiga Deathrite. If they kill it, that's fine, although we haven't seen that much removal from them. And most likely we're going to go Firebolt plus play a tapped land this turn. Nice. Happy to see a fetch land, which we can use the Deathrite on. Ooh. Okay, so let's go Underground Sea, Manamorphose, Territorial Kavu. There's our white source, so Kavu will quickly be 5/5. Hit for 1 and pass. Pretty solid start. No play at all. Wow, okay. Well, let's shock this into play. Go to combat. Swing with both. Discard Zytor's Proving Ground. Leovold, which we cannot actually play right now, unfortunately. Just going to pass. I think I will actually cycle this Xander's Lounge. There's an argument to keeping it because I do want another land, but between cycling the land, our draw step, and then looting with this, we have 3 looks at finding another one. And I would like to find an untapped land. Maybe we're just supposed to play Xander's Lounge and hold up a Braid, though. But I guess I do like getting this up to a 5/5. We can also exile our own Zytor's Proving Ground if we need to cast one of these 2 spells. And we just have a quick clock. I mean, this hits for 5. We can hit for 7, 9 next turn if we wanted to. That is something we can braid. Probably not going to do that this turn, though. No point in braiding here because they can just float mana in response. They have an Oko here. I wish we had an Oko ourselves. Plains, interesting. So they're playing more colors than we'd realized. They can drop a 4 mana play here, but then we have Fractured Identity. Well, not guaranteed, but if we find an untapped land, then we do. If they play Questing Beast, that's pretty fine. I mean, Fractured Identity would give us almost lethal. The One Ring. Fair enough. That is pretty annoying. I mean, we can Fractured Identity it potentially, but it buys them a turn. Alright, so Ancestral ourselves. Interesting. So I'm going to swing and discard. We can go... We have a lot of plays. Unfortunately, we can't play Minsc and Boo. Playing Teferi doesn't do that much. We could just go a Braid the Mox Ruby plus... I wish we could play Leovold. I guess I'm going to start by attacking with this and discarding Avacyn's Pilgrim. Yeah, we could cast it this turn. It just doesn't do that much, though. Okay, with that draw, we can play Leovold, which I think is correct. Wait, actually, do we have an untapped blue or black land we can get off this? No, we don't. So we'll just get this. We will abrade their Mox Ruby. Yep. Play this, looking for more blue or black mana. I think we do keep that though. Pass turn. So next turn, we have a million options, all of which are pretty good. Getting Leovold in play would shut down the ring, but we can also just try to pressure them because they're already down to 10. Territorial Kavu plus Deathrite can hit for 7. Then the One Ring trigger would put them to 1. We have the Firebolt. We also have Minsc and Boo, so I'm probably just going to try to get aggressive here. We'll see what they do, though. If they just tap out for like a Questing Beast or something, then it's easy. This is quite a hand. Lots of very powerful gold cards. If they have like, just land Wrath of God, that's not even bad, really. We can rebuild really quickly with Minsc and Boo. Asika's Chariot is more annoying than some things they could have, but I think it's still not going to be enough. Let's lead on, actually, to Fairy. And they can crew their Asika's Chariot in response. Island. Island, interesting draw. I guess we could just play Leavold here. I'm trying to decide if we can kill them, but we cannot quite. We could take this out, hit them for 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7 with this. Then that puts them to 1. That doesn't quite do it, so let's just go to combat. I'm going to discard Field of the Dead, I think. That's just not really part of our game plan this game. Alright, they go for the chump block. Now we're just going to play Leavold. And pass. And this is just like, they need to deal with Leavold to get this going. Or just like ahead in every way, kind of. Ahead on mana, ahead on board. I guess they're ahead on cards in hand, but we have enough. Like, I'm not worried about that. Mana Vault, I guess that's a little scary. But the fact that they tap their island helps. I guess, like, balance maybe is the scary thing here, but even after that, we could rebuild really quickly. We could keep our Kavu or our Leavold, and then we have Minsk and Boo to start bringing the beats. And our life total is at 18. I'm not worried about them killing me. They're not playing combo colors. Okay. Just gonna take this, let them kill my Teferi. I think keeping Leavold is more important than keeping Teferi. Oh, huh. It's kind of funny. We get to draw a card. Okay. So, many winning lines here, but one of them is this. Alright, pretty solid first round. We dispatched our opponent fairly quickly. I'll take it, and I will see you in round 2. Alright, on the draw here against Misplaced Ginger. Recognize that name. I think they're a pretty solid player. I'll definitely keep this hand. We don't have any white mana, but we can get that with Golos or Manamorphose. Just going to lead on Xander's Lounge for turn 1, then this can get a Forest to set up the Grist. Recurving a Braid into Grist is pretty solid, even on the draw. Right, very happy to see Rootwalla instead of Ragavan. And that was one of our best draws. That gives us a really powerful turn 2 play against a red deck. Just pump the Rootwalla, hit for 3. Not too worried about that. Let's grab our Forest. And just drop a really beefy creature. Territorial Kavu is just solid. Comes down 4/4 on turn 2. What I'm hoping for is they attack, pump, and burn it. So they have to sink multiple mana and multiple cards into killing this. If they have a Ghostfire Slice, that would be annoying. I'm happy to take this exchange. Oh, Mind Clash. Sure, that's fine. We get our 2 for 1. We're taking another 3, but now we get to play Grist, which will block this pretty well. Would love to mill over Uro. No such luck. Alright, just gonna plus again. I think I'm just gonna play land go for this turn. And then I might just cycle a bunch of stuff. We could go end of turn, Manamorphose, Snap, Manamorphose, a Braid. No, I'll just untap here first. Ooh, nice draw. So let's go Witherbloom Command. Honestly, no, I do want to mill, actually, yeah. But I don't even care about this Rootwalla. I'm actually just going to drain them for 2, funnily enough. To mill myself and make you lose 2 life. Then we'll return Meticulous Archive. Plus, play the Archive. Don't think I want that at this point. Swing for 2 and pass. So the opponent must be playing more than one color. I can't imagine what they would be holding in hand otherwise. And they just concede. Okay, so not much of a game 1 there. Playing against a base red deck. I think they're playing other colors too. I think they're very aggressive. So Flage looks pretty good. I like anything that gains life. Tamiyo might be just a little too clunky. Spellseeker is interesting. That's a possibility. So is Cathar Commando. I don't think this does much. Okay, and then I think I'm kind of interested in cutting this Horizon Canopy. I'm just gonna add a basic plains. If I'm adding, yeah, this gives us an additional white source and takes away 1 green source, but I think that's worth it. Field of the Dead also is probably not necessary. I think I would actually rather Huadli here. On the draw, 16 lands plus the Oliphant seems okay. This is a nice blocker and it can get all our colors. And Field of the Dead is just a really slow game plan. I think Huadli is better than Spellseeker. Seeker can find Ancestral Recall, which is nice, but Huadli being a 2-3 is really relevant. Like, the 2-3 body is so much more important than a 1-1. Okay, good hand. They are playing another color. Don't really care about the Thoughtseize here. They're probably going to take the... Actually, I don't know. Kavu. They'll take Kavu if they don't have, like, a Fatal Push. Thoughtscour is even juicier now that we have an extra escape card. So Flooded Strand needs to get blue and black. I think we're just getting Grixis with a Flooded Strand. Meticulous Archive is interesting. If we lead on that, we can still play Kavu on turn 2 because of the Metamorphose. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. It does give away some information, but that's okay. Witherbloom Command, interesting draw. I think it actually is worth keeping here. In general, I like graveyarding stuff because I want to be filling the graveyard as quickly as possible, but Witherbloom Command lets us fill the graveyard and lets us return land. We can decide between Witherbloom Command and Territorial Kavu on turn 2. Ooh, are they playing Reanimator? Oh no, okay. Nice to see that. Just going to play the Kavu. So, Metamorphose first. So the only land we don't have right now is black. We can get that with either of these two. Flooded Strand can get untapped Underground Sea, which is kind of nice. Ooh. A few options here. I think I'm going to start by fetching Underground Sea, grow the Kavu. Then I'm going to Thought Scour myself. Dang, we did not hit one of our escape guys yet. Then we can Witherbloom Command. Do we want to attack for 5? Yeah, I'll attack and discard the Zaitor's Proving Ground. Could leave this back to block, but I think it's right to attack and just like get this value while we know we can. Golos, okay. Then I'm just going to Witherbloom Command to hit them for 2 and mill myself. I don't care that much about the Bitter Reunion, I think. So just still digging for Flage or Uro. Still not finding it though. I think I'll take the Prismatic Vista here. Yeah, still has plenty of things that can grab. And pass back. Man, we've gone through 19 cards. Unfortunate not to find either of our escape cards and all that. We're really pressuring them though. Next turn we can play Minskin Moon and hit them for 9. Raging Raptor, okay, not too worried about that. That's a 4-drop that just dies to our 2-drop. They get their mountain, that's totally fine. Barrogoyf. Ooh, okay, that's kind of annoying. We do find an answer, though. I'm going to swing and offer this trade. Maybe not, though. You know what? No, let's just take this out, I think. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So, I actually think I'm going to get a basic plains here. Oh, wait, no, we have Temple Garden in our hand. So we can't get double red. We already have double blue. We have double green. So maybe just black then, even though that doesn't help us with our escape cards. But the rest of it all seems fine. We don't ever really need double black, though. Yeah, weirdly, Mountain is the one I wish I could get, so maybe we should have just brought that back with the Prismatic Vista. I think I'll just get green, I guess. But yeah, I like taking out the Barrogoyf because it gains them life, and I don't want them to be able to gain 4 life. Spell Pierce would be brutal here. I'm going to discard the Golos, or even Temple Garden. No, discard Golos. It's not the worst, but I think that I'd rather just, again, like, dig really hard for Uro and Phage. Okay. They're down to 2 cards. They don't discard one of them. So if we play Minsk and Boo, it is at risk of dying. I think that is still the correct pick, though. Or the correct play. Like, if they discard a card to this, kill the Minsk and Boo, this is still a potentially lethal attacker. Goldspan Dragon, so they can kill Minsk and Boo and leave back something to block the Boo. They need to attack with Inti, or maybe they just have another thing too, with this treasure. But like, if they attack with this, Inti cannot survive. Oh wait, yeah, they can put the counter here, so that this does work. So you discard. They need to put the counter on the Inti. Oh no, they put it on the Goldspan Dragon, so they're dead on board unless they have something. Oh wait, you can only put the counter on the attacking creature. Okay, so they had to attack the Inti at the Minsk and leave this back to trade. Even then, they would have been in really bad shape. I mean, any creature would have made risk. I guess if we just draw land, like, I don't know. I think we're gonna win that game. We are yet to drop a game, and on to the finals. Oh wait, no, there's 3 matches here. So yeah, on to the semis. Hopefully, we continue to cruise. Back-to-back die roll losses is not what we like to see. This hand's also kind of awkward. It has all our colors, which is the most important thing. I think I'm going to keep it. There's definitely an argument to mulliganing, but I think a hand that just has all our colors is the most important thing. We have, like, anything that we draw we can cast. Ocelot Pride. That's kind of annoying here on turn 1. It's going to make them a lot of tokens. No second land, though. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Alright, I'll just play the Pilgrim. Play Field of the Dead and pass. They're going going wide with a lot of tokens, which is pretty good against our deck. We don't have any ways to deal with tokens effectively. Jeez. Okay, I'm going to fire off this Metamorphose just to try to find some action. Making green-red. One, two, three, four. So we can't play Golos yet. Alright, don't love this plan, but I'm going to just take out the Ocelot Pride. I really don't want them to get the City's Blessing. Pass back, and then now they don't have that much pressure. I mean, they get to hit us for 3. They can draw a card of the staff if they want to, but we can just play Golos next turn and start building towards Field of the Dead, which will break their tokens really effectively. We can win the long game, so I'm really happy to see them spending a mana on this, and then if they miss their land drop, we're looking pretty good. I hope no Mana Tithe. Nice. We don't really have good value lands. I guess we could just get a Surveil land. It's probably correct. We don't have white mana yet, so I'll get Meticulous Archive. Do not need that. I'll pass back. And the next one we can just spin Golos, I guess, if they don't kill it. They probably will kill it, but if they kill it via, like, Path to Exile, that's not too scary. Okay, they just hit us for 1. That's fine. Our light circle is not super high, but it's not super low either, and eventually we'll be able to find Ura, hopefully. Caustic Bronco. Probably just gonna kill that. Huh. Actually, let's just spin Golos. Blue, black, white, red, then this can be green. Yeah, I think that's the right line. We can't play any lands that we hit, but any spell, of course, would be great. We do hit 2 lands, which is not what I was hoping for. I don't really care about the staff. I think I'm going to kill their flyer. And I will mill myself. Again, just digging for Uro. Okay, we hit 2 lands. I'll take the Commercial District. And then hopefully they can't kill the Golos. If they can, and then they get to attack us with the Bronco, it's kind of annoying. But I also think we're in a really good shape because we can start just making Field of the Dead tokens next turn. This feels like a key turn. If they have like Palace Jailer here, it could be bad. But if they just like play some dorky creature and pass and don't get to attack, then it's not that scary. Okay, they can give their Caustic Bronco flying, hit us for 4, so we fall to 8. But then we can deal with this pretty effectively though. With Snap Baleful Mastery. Could also just spin Golos again. Ooh, to Fairy. Let's go for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We would need 9 to place. I guess we could. No, we can't Snap Baleful Mastery for less mana. So, but let's still play Teferi. I'm gonna lead on this actually because I want to just fetch and get my my mountain here. Then we'll play Teferi. Bounce the Bronco. Uro, nice. We'll go to combat, send this at the Archangel. They're likely going to chump block. Yep. Now we just firebolt their Angel. Play Uro. And this will probably prompt the concession. So we Surveil, make another dude. Now we have a massive board presence. We're gaining life. Honestly, I'm going to leave that on top. I think drawing a land is totally fine here. Pass turn. So we're at 10. We're Opponent has Caustic Bronco and 6 unknowns. Not that many lands. We have 3 zombies from this Field of the Dead. They need, maybe Parallax Wave could get them back into it. A Johnny, sure. Kind of a weird attack. Oh, if we block them, the Johnny flips. Sure, I'll just let them kill the Teferi. I don't think this is the kind of matchup where Teferi is that important. Then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, so we can flashback Firebolt to kill their Ajani. Then go to combat, and I think I'm fine just swinging all out. Alright, so they take 7, down to 13. We're going to bring back this Uro, make a zombie. So we have 2 blockers. We go to 13 life. Blue, blue, green, green. Let's leave the Baleful Mastery in the graveyard for... I guess we could have left with their Bloom Command too. Not too worried about that though. Baleful Mastery is the better one. Find Ancestral Recall, just in case we don't already have enough. And we'll pass back. Not necessarily lethal next turn, but over 2 turns we should have it, and they can't kill us from 13 here. Barrow Goyf, okay. Just can take that out with a Baleful Mastery. Field of the Dead really putting in some work here. Good to see that doing stuff. So Snapcaster Mage, Baleful Mastery. Nice. So 5 consecutive wins, yet to drop one. Playing against black-white tokens. Their deck looks kind of sweet, honestly, and maybe a bad matchup, since we don't have good ways to deal with all their tokens. No Toxic Deluge or Fire Covenant or anything like that. Opponent's a fan of our deck. That's nice. Do we want to make any changes here? I think this might be another matchup for Flage. Teferi seems okay, though. It's good against... It's, like, okay against their tokens, and it's good against their Elspeth. Cathar Commandos, not amazing. These are all possibilities. I think, once again, Tamiyo is not really where we want to be. Do we want to try to get Spellseeker in here? I do think I want to keep the Teferi. And I think, honestly, Field of the Dead is a good plan. I mean, it totally won us that game. We were playing Flage. And I think I like the Plains over Horizon Canopy plan for this as well. If we're going to play Waddley. Just having blockers that can, like, effectively counter their tokens is really important. We play Golos just trying to spin him. We'll go like this. I think I'm going to lower the curve a little bit. This seems fine. This could be wrong. I mean, a little weird to win the game with Field of the Dead and then cut Field of the Dead. But against these hyper-aggressive matchups, I just don't think it's really where we want to be. And Field of the Dead is tough if we're even more in on the escape cards. Duress, okay, so they take either Fractured Identity or probably Fractured Identity. Although that is much more of a late game card. It's scarier if they take Talisman of Creativity, because that means they're probably trying to kill us before we get to Fractured Identity. Now, okay, they take that, which, I mean, granted, it's a great card. I'm sad to lose it. But it does mean also that they are planning on going to the long game, which is the sort of thing we want to happen. Okay, do we want to lead on turn 1 Deathrite? I think I'm actually not going to. Yeah, I'm actually going to lead on Commercial District, weirdly. Ooh, that seems worth keeping here. Even though, again, like, the default is to graveyard stuff in this situation to fill up for Uro, but I think the turn 2 4/4 is pretty nice here. I guess it's only a 3/3 for this turn, but it will grow. If they just curve out with like discard into turn 2 3 drop into turn 3 4 drop on the play, like might lose this one. We are pretty behind for sure. They have double Elspeth. They jump their wow, super aggressive. I do not think that was the correct line at all. I mean, maybe, but we get to play this, so this is now 5/5. Send in, and they have to chump block if they want to keep their Elspeth. I think I'm going to discard the Talisman. Leavold, good draw. Can't play it this turn, but we can soon. So we'll go Uro. Into Deathrite. Pass turn. So our life total is healthy again. Yeah, I think if they had just plus Elspeth made a token and passed or like hit for 1, they would have been in a pretty good spot. Now I think we're in a great spot. I mean, they do have this Elspeth, which will make a bunch of chump blockers, but our life total is super high. Like, we have a better long game than them. Let's go for... Teferi, bounce the soldier. Go to combat. And swing. Discarding Xander's Lounge, I think. Grist, interesting draw. And then we want to play Leavold or Grist. I think getting Leavold down is worth it. We'll save the Grist. Like, I don't care that much about this Elspeth. Could just play Grist and minus to kill this immediately, but I just don't think that's that high of a priority. So let's fetch up an island. Black, green, blue, Leavold, and pass turn. They can kill our Teferi, but we have a bunch of beefy creatures. They really don't have that much going. Lingering Souls, that's annoying. I think I think we're still in a good position. We're ahead, but that is annoying. Okay, let's go to combat. I think I'm gonna send both of these. I'm gonna offer the trade, like let Leavold die to kill 3 of their things. Ooh, Snapcaster Mage is a great pickup. We can Snapcaster Fractured Identity. I think that is the correct line. They can kill our Elspeth if they want to, but then they're like not attacking us, and that's just not really a winning line for them. And we have plenty of life gain. We have Uro, which we can bring back soon. We also can gain life with Deathrite Shaman. And opponent says GG's. All right, well, that's pretty solid. I think, yeah, we won 6 consecutive games. If it was a normal league, that would be the trophy, but this is higher stakes, so we gotta win a 4th round. I'll see you in the finals. On the play for the finals against Inconceivable. Pretty nice to win the die roll after losing the last 2. This hand is interesting. We can't cast any spells right now, but a blue source, a white source, or a black source would give us something. We have Commercial District to dig. If we do find a blue source, I think I'm going to risk this hand. There's definitely an argument to mulliganing. If I didn't have the Commercial District, I would not keep it. But between the Surveil and our first 2 draw steps, we get 3 looks at finding a blue source for turn 3. And then this hand's really good. We also have Tamiyo plus Uro, which is really nice. And we do find our blue source, so that's pretty great. We'll need to decide between turn 3 Grist or turn 3 Uro. Probably better to play Grist, although it depends, of course, somewhat on what they're doing. We played against back-to-back aggressive creature decks. It looks like we might be playing that again, which I don't love to see, but we've been able to dispatch it so far. Lush Portico. That probably means no play for turn 2. Alright, gonna drop this Grist, start going to work. Milling over a Firebolt, that's some nice value. Hoping to find more lands, of course. We do have 1 more lined up, and I guess we can Tamiyo to dig for stuff down the road, but would really like to find a land here for turn 3, or for turn 4, so we can go Uro plus put an extra land into play. If we find untapped land, do we just jam Tamiyo digging for Ancestral? Maybe. What I want to find is honestly just Meticulous Archive, though. Just Uro into double tapped land and set up. Flage. That is fine. We can overpower that pretty easily. Okay, perfect. So let's plus this. Milling over Temple Garden, which we can use to get white source of Tamiyo if we want to. We'll play Uro. Hit for 1 pass. The next turn, if we find land, we can play land plus Golos and start making Field of the Dead tokens. If we don't find land, I might go Tamiyo, bring back Temple Garden, Deathrite Shaman. We do find land, though. That's excellent. Let's plus. Play land. Play Golos. You might have a counterspell here. Hopefully not. Subtlety, I guess, would be the more annoying card. In which case, maybe we were supposed to cast Golos first. Fencer, sure. Looking pretty good for us so far. Also, their mana base is a little strange. Flage with 2 lands that don't make red or white. I mean, I guess who am I to talk because I have this Field of the Dead here, but still, looking really good. I'm just going to go for the triple block here. Try to take this dude off the board. And then next turn we have a few options. It's kind of tempting to go Tamiyo minus on Flooded Strand, make 2 zombies, and then play Teferi. Oh, also nice that we have Deathrite against their Flage. Could just play Golos, grab a land, and take out their Flage. Okay, let's go. Minus to kill their 6. Play Golos. Do we want to get a fetch land or Meticulous Archive here? I think fetch land. And then pass, planning on eating their Flage. We can also cast Baleful Mastery if we really need to, although I would be surprised if that ended up being necessary. This looks like it's kind of a mirror match, which I think our deck is well suited for, although we haven't seen their entire deck yet. They have their own Golos. Do they also have their own Field of the Dead? That'd be pretty hilarious. Colonnade. Okay, we have Baleful Mastery for that. Bye-bye, Flage. I'm gonna crack this main phase because I don't really want to draw land. Ooh, did want to draw Ancestral Recall. So we could spin Golos. Seems probably unnecessary. But I don't love the idea of letting them spin Golos, but they also don't have black mana right now. My hand's so good. But I think I'm actually gonna just spin Golos. Maybe that's wrong. What are we worried about them doing here? Maybe it's actually better to just play Uro. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. You play Leavold, play Teferi, bounce. Actually, yeah, I think I like playing Teferi to bounce their thing. Oh, we weirdly only have white mana from this. That's okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Teferi, bounce Avacyn's Pilgrim. Snapcaster Mage is interesting, but I'm not gonna play it yet. Just gonna play Leavold. And pass. Then they can Colonnade to kill one of our Planeswalkers if they want to, but if they spend their entire turn doing that, we're definitely going to win. They don't phase out anything because they don't want to give us the Leavold value. That does give them black mana. Is this 4th Aerlingus? Okay, that doesn't really do anything. Both Swords and Firebolt would give us a card. They could, I guess, Swords, Leavold give us a card, then Firebolt, Grist, and then play Minskin Boo, but we can kill the Minskin Boo really easily. Or just Fractured Identity it. Still no land somehow. Okay, so how do we want to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. I really wish we had one more mana. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It feels like there's no losing lines, but let's still try to be precise. There's relatively high stakes here. I'm just gonna take their Minskin Boo. Plus here. Baleful Mastery, Golos. Hit for 4. And pass. And my thoughts go with them end of turn. We have plenty of cards in our graveyard. I just don't want to mill myself. So they need something like Upheaval. And from what we've seen, it doesn't look like they're an Upheaval deck, but we should still be aware of it as a possibility. Trumpeting Carnosaur doesn't do anything. I mean, it's a 7/6, but Teferi shuts down the ability, so they can't cast Aetherflux Genius, which is actually good. That would be really, really powerful here. Are they dead on board then? Not quite. It's pretty close, but not quite. We can hit for 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I wish we had Time Walk here. There's the Pilgrim, yep. So we're going to say yes. Take our draw step. Let's go plus here. Land. I'm going to Tameo, bring back Fractured Identity. Let's just snap Fractured Identity, actually. And then we snap Fractured Identity, cast the Carnosaur. We could also play Territorial Kavu, and the opponent realizes that their back is against the wall. So pretty much a mirror match. We're both playing these 5-color decks. We haven't seen black mana from them, so they're like maybe more of an Omnath style deck. Should be a pretty good matchup. Do we want to bring in Flage here? I definitely want the Field of the Dead package. Are there any cards that are bad? Not really. Everything looks pretty sweet, honestly. Could cut Talisman if we want Flage, just as like another good value card. Like, yeah, I think this is a fine exchange. Paradise Druid's good. I do like the little bit of burn that we have. Quadley is interesting. I think everything else is better, though. So we'll run it back. Alright, it would be pretty sweet to just run the gauntlet with a clean 8-0. Hopefully we get a good hand here on the draw, and we do. It's going to lead on turn 1 Commercial District, so we can play Paradise Druid on turn 2. Basic Mountain. I think I'm going to graveyard that. I do kind of want lands, but Basic Mountain's one of the worst lands we could get. And we have Oliphant as our 4th land if we need it. Okay, just going to drop this guy and pass. You can't kill it. So we have turn 3 Minsc and Boo or turn 3 Leovold. If we play Minsc and Boo on turn 3, but then they play Minsc and Boo on turn 4, that's a bad exchange for us. Okay, I think what I'm going to do here is play Minsc and Boo, but not attack. Yeah, I think this is the right line. It holds back their 6. If they play Minsc and Boo, then we can just trade Boos. I don't think we have an untapped blue source to get with Oliphant, so we're going to be constrained on blue mana. Probably just going to lead on Leovold. Although we could, the high upside play is Ancestral, looking for another blue source. Then if we find blue source, we could play Tameo and return Ancestral, or just play Leovold. Problem is if we play it Ancestral and don't find a blue source, then we aren't going to be able to use the rest of our mana that efficiently. But also, if we don't find a blue source, we're probably finding some action. The odds of finding both no blue lands and no non-blue spells are pretty low. Still, probably in this situation, it's just best to play to the board, though. Like, I don't really need to be sculpting my hand when I have a bunch of good action already. We also might be in a position where we can just minus Minskimbu, and that would almost certainly slam the door. The dream with 6 is Black Lotus. Just turn 1, Black Lotus, 6, replay Black Lotus. Like, you can just turn all of your lands into Black Lotus Eye then, and really go off. Teferi bounce Boo, that's medium annoying. Not too bad, but they do get the 6 trigger. Hopefully they don't mill over land. They don't mill over land, nice. So, Minskimbu drops a 2 loyalty, that's still fine. Watch my mic. They did have a land in hand. They can replay the Ignoble Hierarch from their graveyard if they want to. Don't really care about that. Oh, Fury. That's really bad, actually. I still think we're in an okay spot, but we lose access to our... We can't really cast anything this turn now unless we draw something. Yeah, Fury is really bad. I need you to give me some space. I'm sorry, Albert. Hopefully... Okay, Territorial Kavu is a solid pickup. Let's cycle this, see what we find. I don't think we have a blue source, though. Yeah, I'll just grab the Taiga. We'll play Territorial Kavu. Play Xander's Lounge. And pass turn. And notably, this is 5 toughness now, so even if they replay Fury, they can't kill it. I guess they could replay Venser if they find another blue source. Omnath. Do they have Omnath into fetch land? They do. Okay, this is bad. This is bad. Because they can fetch basic island, or basic... They can replay one of their things here from the graveyard with 6, assuming one of their last cards is land. Yeah, this is bad. We might be losing here. That Fury was brutal. So here comes Venser to bounce the Kavu. Alright, really hoping they don't hit a land here. The odds are very much in their favor, though. They do. At least it's not a fetch land, but still not great. We take the 3, then we can play Kavu plus Leovold, which is a pretty good turn. Pass back. So if they have a land in their hand, which they do, then they can play Fury to kill Leovold, but we would get to draw a card and we would still have a 5/5 Kavu. We just need some ways to work through all their threats, though. We could try to dig for Fractured Identity. I mean, we have Ancestral Recall in hand, of course. Tamio can also bring back Minskimbu at some point, but first, that's a pretty slow plan. We need to stabilize the board before we can get to that. They could cast Trumpeting Carnosaur, too. Which is a 7/6, so it beats our Territorial Kavu in combat. That would be pretty bad. I think our best draw would almost definitely be Fractured Identity here. Close play. I think I am going to accept this trade. It's not clear that that's correct, but the motivation is we have Tamio, so we can go Tamio minus and bring back Kavu and play it immediately. The fact that it's 2 mana is pretty relevant. And attacking and just letting them like chump block with Venser and then replay Venser doesn't seem great. I also don't really care if they replay Omnath because they wouldn't even get to draw a card in the face of this Leavold. If we could find a way to kill this 6, then all of a sudden that would make things a lot easier. I'd be pretty happy if they just replayed Omnath from the graveyard here. Then do we want to go for the Tamio line or do we want to play Ancestral Recall and see what we find first? Okay, they play Kavu. Sure. And Ragavan, okay. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play Tamio into Kavu here. Oh no. Okay, that's almost definitely lethal. So I should have definitely lifted up Xander's Lounge. I wasn't even thinking that they might have a counterspell, but we're basically dead now. They're out of cards, but we are just so far behind on board. And we don't get to play this Ancestral Recall. Hopefully they try to loot with the Kavu and they get wrecked by the Leavold. They're exiling Minskin Boo. They mill 3. If they hit a land here, it's definitely over. They get Colonnade back in their hand. We'll kill this. Take 8 down to 7. But the problem is they can now just cast something from their graveyard. Was there a place where we could have played differently? I mean, the way we lost was when they had the Fury to kill our Paradise Druid, taking us off of blue mana, and to kill our Minskin Boo. We didn't know about the Fury, of course. I hit Smirking Spelljacker. Good card to know about. We're dead. I'm going to play Ancestral Recall because maybe we could win if we hit Fractured Identity. We'd have to get super lucky. Oh. Alright, dead. So, on to game 3. High stakes here. Their deck is pretty good. Ignoble Hierarch, Ragavan. They have some cheap plays that we really need to worry about. Do we want to make any changes? So we lost like Fury in 6. Spellseeker could be a consideration. Flage doesn't actually hit a lot of the stuff we saw there. Yeah, I think I'll make that exchange and run it back. On the play, let's go. And very good hand. No Ragavan, that's nice. We could have blocked it, but then we'd have to lose our Paradise Druid. Uro was a great draw as well. We're a little constrained on blue mana, but actually not even really. Notably, they don't have no more lies up. So we'll go land, Uro, Meticulous Archive, Surveil. And then Upkeep Ancestral. This is just such a good start. We're way ahead on resources here. Golos, okay, so we can get our Field of the Dead. Even if they kill our Paradise Druid, we can play Golos next turn. No play. Weird. So cast this. They could have no more lies. That's a 1-for-1 exchange, not the worst. So we got Field of the Dead, play this, and then next turn Field of the Dead is live. I think that's a worthwhile keep. You could graveyard it just for Uro, but it is a really good threat. Oh, hopefully no Hull Breacher combo here. Oh, okay. Felia is kind of good against Fractured Identity, but not that scary. Sure, Minsk and Boo. We have a few ways to enter that. So let's go Fractured Identity on the Minsk and Boo. Could also just spin Golos, but I don't think that's correct. So let's actually crack this first. So we'll go Flooded Strand, make a dude. Crack this. Underground Sea, make a dude. Fractured Identity, the Minsk and Boo. Then I'm actually going to minus to kill their Felia, because that can flicker our Minsk and Boo. And then just play Territorial Kavu and pass. And now, if they don't have a board sweeper, our board presence is just insane. If they do have a board sweeper, we can still rebuild really quickly because we have Uro in the graveyard, Field of the Dead going, removal spell for their next threat. We also can spin Golos if they don't kill that immediately. Okay, Minsk and Boo down, that's fine. That was their Minsk and Boo. We could still find ours. And they just have nothing. Like, they're so far behind on resources. There's just nothing that scary they can do with 3 mana here. I think I'm just going to spin Golos this turn. Could also go Manamorphose into Escape Uro, but I think Golos is better. Just, like, use it while you can, because later they'll kill this, and then we can just use the Uro then. I also don't want to exile all these good cards in my graveyard. Like, keeping Ancestral Recall and Fractured Identity in circulation is good in our Snapcaster Mage Tameo deck. They graveyard 6, interesting. Yeah, still just gonna spin. Wow. Okay. Cast this. Cast this. Guess I'll take a Firebolt. Cast this. Targeting Ancestral. Draw 3. We don't find a red source, so we can't play the Firebolt. That's fine. Well, actually, we might still be able to. I'm not even gonna draw a card with Territorial Kavu. I think I just want to exile something. So swing in. Exile their Firebolt. Play this, make another dude, pass turn. They need something pretty special here. They do have a lot more resources. So now we're getting to the point where something like Upheaval is scary. This feels like a really key turn. If they play Carnosaur into like Omnath, that's not even scary at all, which seems like one of the better things they could do. They play Teferi, also not afraid of that. Minusing doesn't do anything. I mean, they take out our Golos temporarily, but that's fine. So let's go Tameo. Maybe we don't even care about Tameo yet. Yeah, let's just go Firebolt, kill this. Baleful Mastery, kill this. And then is this lethal? We have 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep, so just go to combat. Send everything at your face. Wait, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I will actually send this to Fairy 2 in case they have something weird. Exile your 6. Alright, solid. So that feels pretty good. We qualified for the next round. So we have this tournament, this thing, which we can use to, so yeah, I'll just quickly go through the structure. So first we need to win this thing. You need to get 4 wins in a row in a normal league, which we just did. This means we get qualification for a 64-player single elimination draft to happen sometime this week. So I'll record that as well. And if we win that, then there's a final round that I think is either in person or like one more round for all the winners of these 64-player drafts. And then the winner of that gets their ticket punched to Vegas. So that is certainly what we are hoping to do. Step 1 is down. That feels really good. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next round. Yeah. Bye.